Okay, Mr. Stop. About 6 or 7 years ago one winter, I discovered something really fundamental. I mean, there's no... suicide is a terrible word, but Camus fantastically explored this in his book, The Outsider. L'étranger, the stranger. But forget about that. Yeah, if you're going to stop, or if you're going to kill yourself, if you know, having been through years of emotional turmoil and tried everything to fix, seems that nobody wants anything to be fixed in this fucking awful society. Anyway, if you're going to do it when, one winter I had such good sleeps. Do it when you're absolutely feeling your best. You're so well rested. Days of fantastic best rest. That's when you do it. Never do it. Never even ponder doing it until you've reached that point. When you're rational, but also more important, there's a kind of energy, not some mad energy, but a kind of useful energy. Like, oh well, there's nothing left. It's rational to do it. I only mention this because there is a time to stop, and purely incidentally for 10 years, and it's kind of developed, and it's not cheating, and it's not... Anyway, so I just kind of keep a chronicle often of conversations that if society is rational in 20 years, there are patterns that through Brexit, through other things, blah, blah, blah. I had my last one ever this morning. Stop. I won't do anything with it for years probably. I've got so many on the conveyor belt that are interesting, that really are wistful. What's happened? Anyway, yeah. Speaking with a very educated man who for years I've known. And the assumptions, if you even mention us, if you even suggest, I mean, this man should know, I've told him 100 times, I'm essentially a pacifist. But having grown into really thinking what that means, but no, you mention Hind or anything. So it's like, you think that it justifies the 7th of... No, I wouldn't want the finger of the men who shot Hind. I wouldn't wish their fingers to be hurt. Anyway, forget that. But you know, when there's no point speaking with... This is what my chronicles of conversations show. There's no point speaking with anybody in this country ever. Ever. My chronicles will only ever, as maybe some of them I discover, I go back to and put, oh, shouldn't have that there, the fortress, yeah. I put into somewhere where others can access them. They will never have anybody not British born. Well, certainly female, not British born. Well, have I turned this on? Yeah, stop. You know, it's best to allow things to pan out so you know when there is no point doing anything other than... You see, I've enjoyed stopping here. It's extraordinary, that. And I'm going to put a video up by a woman, somebody else's video by Sabine Hofspender. I think you should take note of this. Let me just say this to the camera. I knew very well my neighbour 2 kilometres away, Hilary Lawson, who started up an organisation, several organisations, inherited money, a very sad man. So sad that when I knew him 12 or 13 years ago, 14, 15 years ago, flipping heck, for several years, they would deliberately drive 3 vehicles from London to his, what was then, holiday home, 3 different vehicles for 3 different people. So against global warming, the global warming discussion agenda. I mean, he literally, deliberately drove 3 vehicles from London back and forth. Him, the mother of his kid, and babysitter. I only mention this. It's just like, I'm not interested in any individual. Sabine was adopted as the woman in his organisation. Very much so. And she's pretty good. I've watched many Sabine videos. Now, Sabine will have had many dinners with Hillary and lots of people like him. And she's just put a video out about some of the science on the climate, which even she is putting her name to. Hang on a minute, there may be a real problem there. And the only way is to A, set an example to the rest of the world, and B, super simplify so that we're applying the precautionary principle and pumping as little CO2 up into the atmosphere as possible. Anyway, I've spoilt it by going on about that, except to say, you know, it's like these things, it's like Sabine. I know Sabine is almost a kind of Nigel Farage of the scientific world, but she's very good. Her physics and videos are magnificent, and she's funny. She takes the piss out of herself. But she's put a video up saying, this science is a bit worrying and may have been misinterpreted. It's worth watching. There we go. The end. Stop. Stop. Forget anybody exterior to my quite a few people over a decade. Dialogues, genuine dialogues. There's nobody that you can have a conversation with in this British society. My one regret in life is I rightly said to myself 35 years ago, I'm not going to get expert in any other languages because this one's bloody hard enough. And I realised I fucked up. Because where can you go in the world where people speak English, with the nuance and the fullness of the language, that isn't Britain? Well, not America. Not sure about Canada anymore. I'm stuck. Maybe New Zealand. Yeah, I wish I knew some other languages. If you're 18, it takes decades to learn a language properly. Miraculously, she even knew the words hiraeth and ascetic. But even the word ascetic is to actually get the meaning that is understood by people like me. It means cut back to keep your energy for something useful. Nothing religious. There we go. The end. Mr. Stop.